This move here coming from Donald Trump. Zelenskyy is saying that the United States sent 20,000 missiles bound for Ukraine to the Middle East instead. Ukraine and Russia have been exchanging heavy blows, well, considered to be the heaviest since the beginning of the war between the two countries in 2022. And Russia has been having daily attacks of drones, Shahid drones to be precise, with Iranian support, of course, for Russia. Hundreds of them, 500 reported in the past few days, 500 a day or a night. And of course, Ukraine, it needs missiles to intercept them. Now, the United States was carrying out a shipment to Ukraine, and Zelenskyy is now confirming that the United States diverted the shipment. This report said that they were originally intended for Ukraine to combat Russian Shahid drones to the Middle East, according to Zelenskyy, in an interview that he had with ABC. And Zelenskyy said, "We have major problems with Shahids, which are the Iranian drones. We're fighting them, and of course, we'll find tools to destroy them. But we had found something and decided, I think it was under the previous administration, it was Defense Secretary Austin, we settled on a project and we were counting on it. 20,000 missiles to fight Shahids. It wasn't expensive, but it was a special technology. We were counting on these 20,000 missiles. This morning, my defense minister told me that the United States has transferred them to the Middle East." Now, Donald Trump has been critical of the war between Russia and Ukraine. He tried to mediate, tried to reach a ceasefire. It clearly hasn't worked yet. But the fact that he is moving now shipments that were meant to protect Ukraine in the middle of the war, that can be considered somewhat support for Russia. He's favoring Russia over Ukraine now, because if he's not helping Ukraine defend themselves against any Russian attacks, that means he's not really caring about the situation, or that he wants to apply pressure on Zelenskyy to give in and make it easier for Vladimir Putin to achieve his objectives and goals. Another thing is, well, he's moving them to the Middle East. And if he's moving them to the Middle East, there's one country that is involved in a genocide. It's called Israel. It might be facing a big attack if it dares to go and conduct an act against Iran. And if Iran sends drones to Israel like they have before, although the second Iranian attack in the past year and a half only included hypersonic ballistic missiles, approximately most of them, but the initial attack in April 2024 included hundreds of drones. It was considered to be, at the time, the biggest drone attack in history, as in one go. Well, Israel would need them. Is he going to send them to Israel and hide it, or keep it with the United States forces inside of the region in case there's an attack coming from Iran that would include drones, so that they can be used against them? That raises more questions about the real intentions of the United States with Iran, especially with the fact that we haven't seen a ceasefire. No adequate pressure is being applied on Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu to stop the genocide and barbarism inside of the Gaza Strip. All we're having is, well, lip service coming from American and European leaders. No concrete actions yet. Nothing that reached a level that it's stopping Israel. And guess what? They have the power to. They have the power to give Israel an ultimatum to stop the genocide, but they're not so far. And that makes them complicit. I mean, we already know that they're complicit, but it's proving again that they're complicit. The talks are not going the way they, well, were intended to go in the beginning between Iran and the United States. The United States still confirming that it wants Iran to stop enriching uranium. That's a red line for the Iranians. The Iranians will never stop enriching uranium for the sake of the United States or Israel or anyone else. It's a case of sovereignty and dignity. So where are things going? Trump has told Benjamin Netanyahu, don't attack. We don't want to attack against Iran, although they're having these unsuccessful talks at the moment. Lord knows if we will have a breakthrough. But more and more reports are talking about Israeli preparedness to conduct an attack against Iran. And the United States, at that point, will be forced in the picture. It will be forced into the battle because Iran will be attacking United States bases. That's the latest confirmation from Iran that we heard from the Iranian officials several months back. If there's an Israeli attack on us, American bases in Arab countries surrounding us, despite our brotherly, relations with them, they will be attacked because the Iranians are not convinced that America will not be supporting Israel, by the way. Which means that there's something going on there, something very suspicious. And the talks about this Israeli preparation and Benjamin Netanyahu is really serious about going on this war with Iran to save himself from his internal situation, they're getting more and more momentum because Benjamin Netanyahu is facing collapse. There's a motion against him to dissolve the Israeli Knesset. Members of his coalition are going to vote for it. That would put Benjamin Netanyahu in an imminent risk of his government collapsing. If his government collapses, that means he will not be voted again. Very unlikely that Benjamin Netanyahu will win any election after this. But the most dangerous thing is he will lose some of those things that he's enjoying now as a prime minister. For example, banning an inquiry from happening about the 7th of October, an independent inquiry or state inquiry, full inquiry. Getting away and delaying his court cases and hearings, escaping, having excuses, still managing to dictate what happens inside of Israel with certain appointments, sacking certain people, bringing other people aboard, and also challenging the Supreme Court or the High Court in Israel. And all of the other perks that come with the position of the Prime Minister. This is a lot of pressure on him. And if that for Benjamin Netanyahu, as suicidal as it may sound, by the way, because like we quoted Brick earlier on, Israel is already committing mass suicide with what it's doing inside of the Gaza Strip, and Hamas has indeed defeated us, according to him. Netanyahu wouldn't really care, and he would potentially go for that final blow with Iran, even if it would entail the risk of landing an attack on Israel, landing a blow on Israel so hard that Israel would not be able to get out of.